Hey there, sweet friends. This is Gina. Welcome to the Repainting channel. I want to pop in really quickly and do a video on some updated progress of my junk planner. And junk planner is the term I settled on. One of you beautiful little subscribers put that in your comment, the term junk planner, and I was like, ooh, that's perfect, because I kept calling it an altered book journal planner, and that was just too cumbersome. So I'm going to stick with junk planner. I like junk planner, so thank you if you were the one that came up with that. I totally appreciate it. I want to show you what I have done so far, and then I want to show you how to fix something you've messed up. We're going to call this video the art of messing up. I love that. Okay, so first thing, if you have not checked out this video, there's a YouTube channel called Roxy Creations, and she has the most beautiful Australian accent. She made one of these, and she referenced my video, so watch her video. It's really cool to see how she does this. And what I loved and what got me thinking about this, the art of mess up, is that she started this and then said she ripped out a couple of pages because she was trying to do it my way, and she's like, I couldn't do my own style. I was trying to do Gina's style, so I ripped out the pages and I went back and did them over again. And that, oh my gosh, that is awesome. Yes, that is what we're gonna focus on today. How to take this and turn it into your style. Not my style, your style. And you can pull in influences from other people's styles, but how to turn this into your own. What if you started it and you turned it into somebody else's and it doesn't feel right? Well, if it doesn't feel right, you're never gonna finish it, and then you've just wasted all your time and you've wasted all the materials. So we are going to talk about the art of the mess up. Okay, so first of all, let me show you what I've done here. So I have I don't want to show you too much on this. I have a journal process that I'm going to put, and this was just, I had to get some journaling done because I had too much stuff going on in my head, and it was just, you know, my thoughts were scattered and everything. So this right here is a journal spread that I did on that, and I will put that video up a little bit later. I didn't want to put it up now because I think most of us are working on getting our months and stuff on here, and so I didn't want to confuse anybody by switching from the months and then going to a journal spread. So I'll wait a while before I put that one up. So what I have done, let me make sure I'm in frame here. What I have done is I have just gone ahead and I have added the rest of my months. And so there's September, October. I skipped some pages. There's November, December. This one I felt like was going to be really hard because it had big graphics, and so I skipped this one. I skipped this one as well, and then I did a January. So I didn't really follow a pattern. I just kind of randomly skipped pages and put in my months. And you can see these are super, super messy, and that's okay because this is just the skeleton. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna add in all of the good stuff as I go on through this. And so I went to May, and I felt like this was a good one to go to because for me, the school year ends in May. So my year doesn't really go January, you know, to January. My year goes pretty much August to May. That's because that's my school year. That's my job. And so I'm going to end with May 2019, and then I have a blank page right here. Okay, so a couple of things I want to show you. Oh, and then I went ahead and put washi on some of the edges, and I just haven't finished that up. And the thing is I don't want to do this like all in one day. I don't have to complete this all in one day. That's the whole point of this for me, is that I just get the bones in, and then I go back and I add all the meat and stuff later. And that's the fun part. This is the no-brainer stuff, like adding washi to the edges. This is the stuff that I can do when I come home from work and I am exhausted and I can't even, you know, say my name because my brain is so numb, I can pull out washi tape and I can put washi tape on the edges. And I can do it while I'm watching TV. I can do it while I'm sitting with my dog. And that's the stuff I want to save and do throughout, you know, this journal. So I haven't finished that, and that's okay because I can totally do that later. Okay, so I want to show you this part right here. So when you know, you're altering the book, this is not going to be 100% perfect. There's going to be tears and rips and little jiggly pages, and things aren't going to be perfectly straight, and they're going to be kind of loose, and that's okay. And I embrace that. I actually love that. Now, if you are a perfectionist person, that might bother you, but I love that. And I love having little weird things that go on and then having to come up with a way to fix them. So to me, that's just part of my jam. So you will see that sometimes when you have an altered book, this little gutter right here might start to split. So a really easy fix is very simply, you can use masking tape. And if I had thicker masking tape, that would be better, but this one will work. So I would just take this, and I'd probably put a little extra glue here, and then I would just tape it down the center. And a couple of reasons why this works really well. One, it's kind of flexible, so you can still open and close the book. Two, it's paper tape, so you're going to be able to paint over it and glue over it and add marker and colored pencil, crayons, all that good stuff. So the other reason that masking tape is good is that it's just neutral color. So yeah, that works perfectly. Okay, another thing you can do is what I have done is I went through and I added little strips of paper. And I used some, I think I probably used this glue when I did that. And I did that when I originally made the book. But you can see even my paper is starting where I put the paper in the gutters, because I've been opening and closing it so much, I've already started to get some tears. So no big deal. I would just go through with masking tape and just seal up all those little gutters. And over time, guys, your book is, and I don't know what's up with that masking tape, that's a mess. Over time, your book is going to become more and more used, more and more well-worn, and that's okay. That's the whole point of this, is this is going to become just a well-loved book. And so you're not going to have, you know, it's not going to stay perfect and pristine. So yeah, you can kind of see, I can go through and I can add masking tape if I want. Okay, so now let's go to this spread right here. Now this is nice and tight and it's glued really well. Let's see if I can find one that's not. And let's say that I have, that this is splitting. All right, let's go to this one. Let's say this is splitting. In fact, I'll just go ahead and run my fingernail down it and I'll go ahead and split it. Okay, so this is split. Oh no, what do? This is split. Okay, so you could use masking tape, or you could use, I always like to use wrapping paper. Now, wrapping paper is not going to hold it permanently, because wrapping paper is very thin, and again, you can run your finger down it and you'll be able to split it, but it will, if you put a lot of glue on it, it will, you know, hold it together okay. You could put masking tape and then you could put your wrapping paper over top of it. But what if you wanted to get fancy? So I had this little scrap of fabric on my table and I thought, well, what if we added fabric? So I love to have fabric to the gutters of my journals, because it just adds another little, you know, texture and different design and yeah. So I'm gonna add it. Now, the thing with fabric is that it is going to be stiff, so it's not gonna be as flexible, and it's also gonna add some bulk. So you really need to think about how that's gonna affect your book. I'm only gonna do it on 1 or 2 pages, so I'm okay with that because it's not gonna add too much bulk. And I'll still be able to open my book and use it and everything. So I'm just gonna take a card and I'm gonna get down in that little gutter, that little crevice, because that's where I needed some space. That's why it's pulling apart, because it's too tight there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and push the fabric down in here just a little bit. And there you go. So now, once this dries, I've got a little fabric gutter. And again, it's going to push my book out a little bit because I'm adding bulk, but that's okay. Eventually this spine is going to get really, really broken down, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm okay with it. You saw my last book. My last book had the whole spine, actually, I had removed. So this spine, it's the original spine from the book, but what I had done is I just took a piece of artwork that I had, some paper I had painted on, and I just glued it onto the spine. It will probably, and I'm just rubbing the excess glue on here, it'll probably split over time, especially if I keep adding stuff to it, but I'm okay with that because I can always go back and add more fabric or more paper. Okay, so now that I've done that, let me go back and find it. There we go. Now that I've done that, I want to get to the one where we're going to talk about if you mess up really bad, how do you fix it? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to dry this so I can close my book and it won't stick together. Okay, and then I was thinking about this too. You could also take fabric and you could put fabric on the edge of your paper. I did one of my planners, I did wrapping paper on the edge of my papers. So you don't just have to do washi tape. You can get creative and put all kinds of cool stuff on the edges of your papers. Okay, so I think this is dry enough that I'll be able to flip it and use another page. Okay, so what if you do something and you totally feel like you've messed it up? So I'm gonna take this page right here, which I know looks like I'm done. Looks like, hey, you've got most of it done. All you gotta do is just start adding your stuff. So I wanna show you this one because I want you to see that no mess up is too big. No mess up is too large. You can fix anything. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try, let's say I did this and this was not me, this was all messed up, and I want to redo it. So me being the person I am, I want to save this paper. So I'm going to see if I can pull off any of this paper, any of these stickers. Now, I know some of you guys are freaking out right now. That's okay, it's fine. Sometimes, most times for me, when I make a mistake, what I end up with afterwards is even better than what I started with. Now, I ran masking tape right here, so I probably won't pull that up. I'll leave that. But I'm just gonna pull up any of the paper that I put on here. Because let's say I didn't want to do that. Let's say, you know, I messed up my dates. Oh, I know. Okay, so I put 6 rows across here, and for some months you need 6 rows, but for August you didn't. So let's say that's the reason why I'm tearing this apart. I'm tearing this apart because I'm going to go back and put my dates on and give it some more rows. Okay, so get as much paper off of here as I can. Take my card, see if there's any scraping I can do. Okay. All right. Now, man, I've got this. This is a mess. How do I fix it? Okay. So I could cover it with paper. But what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cover it with paint. I'm just gonna put the paint right on here. This is just, you know, little acrylic paint, craft paint. Okay. So depending on what I used underneath this, it may or may not show through. And I'm all right with that because I'm okay with having some of the evidence of what I did before peeking through. That's going to be fine with me. It's not going to bother me at all. It just, to me, it just adds, it's another layer. Okay, so I'm going to brush this off so that it's kind of even, and then I'm just going to go over here and put the excess on my envelope. It just kind of carries over. Okay, so, all right, there we go. Now, I've got paint on my washi tape, so I could do a couple of things. I could leave it. I could take a paintbrush and just wipe it, or I'm just gonna take a tissue and just wipe it, and what'll happen is that paint will come right off. As long as it's still wet, the paint will come right off. There we go, cool, cool. And I'll do this side over here. Okay. Now, I kind of liked how I had written the days up here. That didn't bother me. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through and wipe that off. Okay. And then I want some of this to show through. Not too much, but just some of it. So I'll just go through and wipe a little bit. Kind of softens it a little bit, kind of makes it blend in with the background. Ooh, and right there where there was some of that wrapping paper, that kind of shows through. That's kind of cool. Ooh, I like that. All right, so now I'm good. Let's dry it. Okay, so I don't know, I feel like it's kind of stark. So I'm going to add some more paint here, see if I have any more of this white paint. Ooh, there we go. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some circles. It just adds, I don't know, a little bit of interest. I'm just playing around with paint here. All right, I don't know, I'm feeling really painty right now, so I think I'm going to add some more paint. So now I can restart. I just pretty much pressed my reset button, and I've got a blank canvas again. So now I can regrid my month. Because I've got a bunch of paint on here, I have learned through the years that when I use my pens over paint, it will mess them up, especially if it's like, well, it just messes them up. Ballpoint, felt tip, it doesn't matter. The paint gets into the tip and you're done. So I have learned to not use pins, my good pins, over paint. I don't even like to use Sharpies because it will dry out my Sharpies. The paint will collect in the tip and then I'm not able to use it anymore. So what I'm going to use is I'm going to use crayon. And I know that it'll be super easy to just, you know, glide the crayon over this. So I'm going to go ahead and use my columns that I had, because they were not the problem. It was my rows that was the problem. So I'm going to go ahead and use the columns. Okay. And so if you remember, I had 6, but I only need 5. So I'm going to make 5 rows. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Actually, I'm going to move these up a little bit. Ooh. You know what? Oh. Okay, you know what? Look, I'm just going to keep on going. Why? Because I'm showing you guys what you can do if you mess up. This is called the art of the mess up. So there you go. Look at that. I didn't like my lines, so what I did was I just drew a whole bunch more lines. Okay. So I'm good with my columns. Now I need my lines. So I think what I'm going to do is I need a dark color. I think this one's going to be better. Okay, so let me go this, 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 this. And guys, I know messing up is scary. But let me tell you something. I've learned this. Messing up is how you become an artist, because it's how you figure things out. It's how you see how materials work with one another. It's how you see what fixes and what things you can use to correct whatever it is that you did wrong. It allows you time to play and experiment, and mess ups are the best part. Like mess ups, and this is what I tell my kids at school. Mess ups are when you're learning. When you mess up and you go back and you fix it, then you've learned. You've just grown your brain. So mess ups are awesome. I love mess ups. I love messing things up because then I can figure out a new way to make it work. All right, so let's try this again. I'm going to grid this one right here. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and come up on this one. I think I'll go down here to the bottom and do this one. There we go. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay, so I'm going to go. And you can see where some of that paper is coming up, and that's okay because the wet paint is making that wrapping paper come up, and that's all right. I'm just going to peel it off. It's just going to add more to it. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. All right, that'll work. Okay. Now I love how that's peeking through right there. Okay, so I've got my lines drawn on. Now, another thing you could do is if you really wanted your lines to stand out, you could take some really thin washi tape, but I have, this is some really thin, this tape, I think I've told you about this before. So this tape was a newspaper was going out of business. And so this tape was what they would use on their newspaper spreads. And if you've ever done newspaper printing, like I took a class in high school, and so you have to have, it has to be transparent and opaque so that the light can shine through it. So it's just kind of a fun little tape. And a friend of mine went to this newspaper place when they were closing up their shop, and she grabbed me these little tapes. So I don't know how well they're gonna stick. I may have to go back and add some glue on them. We'll see. And then we'll add this one right here. Perfect. And when I say perfect, I know it's not perfect, and that's okay. That's how I like it. And then I think I'll go ahead and add this up here. All right. Okay, and so again, I may have to go back and glue this tape down. We'll have to see. I'm gonna close it and see what it does. Yeah, all right, and that's fine because again, that's one of those things that I can do while I'm watching TV. I just grab a glue stick and I can just glue down all the tape that is not sticking. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, so now from here, I can go back, and if I wanted to put tape going down my columns, I could do that. Or I could just, and I actually kind of like the way it is, I could just leave it like it is, and then I'm just gonna go back in, rewrite my names. And then I could go in and I can put in all of my my dates. So, all right, so I gotta make sure. So September should start on a Saturday, which means, yes, August ends on a Friday. Okay. All right, so now I've got a crayon that works better. Okay, cool. Okay, so now I can just go ahead and redo this month, put in my appointments, and rewrite the word August down here. And just with the background, I can leave it like it is, or I can go and add, you know, some decoration and stuff to it. Like, I know this circle, I'm gonna outline that circle just because, I don't know, every time I see a circle, I feel like I need to outline it. And then I'm gonna take some of the paper that was left over from, I'm gonna take some of the paper that was left over from my mistake, and I'm gonna put it back on here, because I don't like to waste anything. So let's put that right there. Okay. My paint stuck together. Ooh, cool. Okay. Kind of like that. I don't know. Maybe put, I'll put this over it. So I hope that you're having fun being free in this junk planner, because that's kind of what the whole point is. It's just being free and not worrying about, here's the thing, guys. These things bother me. Having to have things that I have to do and appointments and schedules, that bothers me. So to offset that, I need a place where I can store all of those things that I don't want to do, the icky things, and I need it to be stress-free. So it's kind of like it's a juxtaposition of things that stress me out, and I'm putting them in a place that calms me down, that doesn't stress me out. And yeah, that's kind of the way I do it. And so when I have to figure out, oh gosh, when is that dentist appointment? You know, I could go look at my calendar and hanging in my kitchen, or I could open up my journal that always makes me happy, and it's just kind of calmed me down a little bit. And now I'm like, oh, dentist appointment on Thursday type of thing. So it's just a way that I keep track of things that bother me in a non-bothersome way, if that makes any sense. And yeah, I like it. I like opening this up. It makes me excited to write down appointments and things like that, which, you know, sometimes I don't really get excited about because I know I get to add pretty things and drawings and doodles and stickers and things like that to my planner. So yeah, cool. All right. And just because, I don't know, just because it's sitting here, let's just add a little bit of masking tape too. I don't know what is up with this masking tape. Let's just add a little bit of masking tape, just adds more layers. Okay. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So now I'm going to go back in and I'm going to write my August appointments in, redo my August. I think I'm going to go get a cup of coffee and sit down and put my doggy on my lap and do this while I'm watching some TV. So guys, there you go. I hope this has inspired you to work in your junk planner, and I hope this has made you a little less apprehensive about doing this and making mistakes, because making mistakes is part of the fun. And so I hope you are having fun with this. If this stresses you out, then you probably shouldn't be doing it. Only do it if it's making you happy. Oh my gosh, life's too short. There's too many other things we have to do in life that don't make us happy. So why would you get stressed out about your planner or your journal? If it's not making you happy, don't do it, or change it, or mix it up a bit, or do something different. Okay? All right, until next time, let's work on getting the rest of your months in and getting your days on your months, and then writing in your appointments. And then, yeah, if you feel like you need to start journaling, like you need to get something off of your chest, or you just have accumulated a bunch of stuff from your daily endeavors, start filling in some of your blank pages. And I will post this journal video in the next week or so, and I'm going to go and work on my to-do list, which I actually have. Where did I have my to-do list? Right here, which is write down all my appointments. I still have to write down some more appointments. You can go in and add your birthdays and things like that too once you have your months on. And then Etsy shop update. So I go back to school in August and I'm working on some journals. I will have several journals. I don't know how many I'll have because I have some in progress and some that are done. So I will have several journals in my shop on Sunday, August 5th, and I'll probably do 9 a.m. in the morning again, Central Time, Kansas City, Missouri, USA, just because that just seems to be an easy time, and then that gives me lots of time to get them all packed up and I can get them to the post office the next day. So look for some journals to be in my Etsy shop, and then I will also do a flip through video to show you guys what kind of journals I have. Have a great rest of the day. I hope you are healthy, I hope you are happy, and I hope you do something creative. Bye.